All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today we're exploring a profoundly moving narrative adopted from P. Lankesh's story, The Gardener. It's one of those fascinating tales that really digs deep into human nature, you know? It looks at the destructive power of rivalry and the incredibly heavy burden of our own ego. So as we go through this, we're going to unpack a highly cinematic, emotionally engaging story that genuinely asks us to question what it actually means to win in life.
Part 1. A peaceful coconut plantation.
I want you to picture this. You're stepping into a lush, green landscape in the present day. The gentle wind is just kind of rustling through these tall coconut trees, and everything is bathed in this gorgeous, atmospheric golden hour light. It's a place of absolute serenity. And here, our narrator encounters a mysterious old gardener. He's got a calm face, a white beard, he's dressed in worn-out traditional clothes, and he has these gentle eyes that look like they carry the wisdom of an entire lifetime. And while peacefully pruning plants and just working among the trees, this humble man begins to narrate a pretty remarkable, sweeping story from his past.
Part 2. The Roots of Rivalry.
To really understand this story, we've got a flashback in time to a highly detailed, prosperous Indian village. Imagine a beautiful backdrop of fertile land, lush green fields, and healthy cattle. This is where we meet our two central figures. On one side, we have Tamana. He's a hardworking, generous, and highly respected farmer. His kindness and his success are genuinely admired by the entire village. But then, on the other side, we have Basavaya. Now, he's another wealthy landowner, but he is fiercely proud, ambitious, and just deeply, intensely jealous of Tamana's popularity. At first, the rivalry is just friendly competition. But Basavaya simply cannot tolerate being less respected than Tamana. It just eats at him.
Part 3. Wealth versus true respect.
And of course, the villagers constantly comparing the two men acts like fuel poured directly onto the fire of Basavaya's jealousy. The whole thing rapidly becomes this frantic tit-for-tat escalation. First, Basavaya tries to surpass Tamana by accumulating wealth. He's buying up more land, building a massive house. Tamana doesn't back down, right? He responds by expanding his own farms, earning even greater admiration amidst these cinematic scenes of village markets, local festivals, and golden sunsets. But then the dynamic completely shifts. Tamana totally pivots. He stops competing with property, and instead he starts composing beautiful folk songs.
See, Tamana realizes that Basavaya's greatest weakness is his literal obsession with defeating others. So Tamana just takes money out of the equation. He stops competing with wealth altogether. Instead, he focuses entirely on art, writing poems that praise village life, nature, and human values. And the villagers, they love it. They start singing these songs everywhere, and Tamana's fame just skyrockets. Basavaya is left completely frustrated. He keeps trying to defeat Tamana, but he fails over and over, forced to face the harsh reality that all his wealth simply cannot buy genuine respect.
I want to pause here for a second and just ask you to really think about a question. How do you win when your rival's only joy is competing with you? Seriously, if their entire existence is validated by fighting you, any move you make, even winning, just feeds their obsession, doesn't it?
Part 4. An unexpected disappearance.
Well, Tamana asks himself this exact same question, and he finally understands that Basavaya's happiness depends entirely on having someone to compete against. So what does he do? It's wild. He just quietly leaves the village one night. He informs absolutely no one, completely abandoning his fertile land, his wealth, and all of that skyrocketing fame. By simply removing himself from the equation, he actively chooses peace over pride, which sends absolute shockwaves through the entire village.
Part 5. The Price of Obsession.
While Tamana escapes, the aftermath for the man left behind is just devastating. With Tamana gone, Basavaya's life loses all meaning. Think about it. When he had a rival, his ambition actually had a purpose. He was constantly motivated and driven by that rivalry. But without Tamana, there is literally no rival left to defeat, no competition to win. So Basavaya finds absolutely no satisfaction in his victories anymore. His ambition loses all meaning, and he slowly becomes lonely, restless, and completely emotionally broken. Eventually, Basavaya dies, not defeated by any external enemy, but completely consumed from the inside out by his own toxic obsession with rivalry.
And finally, Part 6. Finding True Victory.
So, we cut back from that dark flashback to the present day at the peaceful plantation, and we get this massive revelation. Remember the serene, wise old man we met at the very beginning, out there amidst the singing birds and blooming flowers? The old gardener is Tamana. After leaving his wealth, his land, and his fame behind, he found true, lasting happiness just working quietly in the dirt as a humble gardener.
As the narrator watches Tamana smile while watering the flowers and watching the birds, this silent realization washes over him. True peace is a state of tranquility achieved not from defeating others, but from overcoming one's own ego. Tamana didn't win by crushing Basavaya. He won by refusing to play the game of pride altogether.
As the sun rises over this beautiful garden, we are left with a really powerful message. True victory is not defeating your rival. True victory is freeing yourself from the desire to compete. It's such a beautiful, inspirational reminder for all of us. I mean, where in your life are you fighting battles just for the sake of pride? What would happen if you simply stepped away? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this leaves you with something profound to think about today.